Yo, what's up, everybody? We are here, and we are about to get this thing started. So, for tonight's host, well, first of all, let me give it up to Mr. Orlando, part of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Thanks, boss, for taking us back. I didn't have enough room to stroll, but if I did, I probably would have broke my award.
Nah, my bad, y'all. I just, you got to give me like a timer next time. Like, look, this how much. I was trying to give a little bit, but you know what I'm saying? I got to watch my neighbors, too. But I didn't know. I had seen something. Somebody said they church folks was in there looking, so I had to try to swap it up real quick. So I apologize for the church folks and you know what I mean?
Nah, you good, man. No, I haven't been to a campus that played that music in forever, so I needed that. And also, before I go too far, I got to thank my brother Michael Jenkins for also doing the flyer for me. Thanks, Fred. I appreciate it. So you all come on off of mute. And so I'm going to turn it over into the hands of my co-hosts, Miss Lynnette Wukie and Miss Hope. So it's all in your hands.
All right, big shoes. But I'm so excited to be with you guys today. I feel a little left out because I was never Greek affiliated. I'm not Greek affiliated. I go to Notre Dame. Yeah, Hope, we feel the same way. And I'm really excited to get to hear from all of you about what Greek life is like. And obviously I know I'm going to be jealous all the time, so it's fine. But yeah, so I'm excited. So whoever wants to go first, can you kind of give us a little bit of what Greek life even is? Because for all us ND kids, all we have is what our friends say and what we see in the movies. But I'd rather hear it from y'all.
Ooh, who to start with? Let me see. T, I'm gonna have you jump on. So
why did I know you were
I was looking at her.
I knew it.
The setup, sis.
Yeah, you know it from the beginning. I will just say, for me, I'm an only child, so I got to college like, I just gained sisters like nothing before. So I'm not going to share everything. I don't know where the questions are going. But I will say that I play across. How can we talk on here?
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I joined multiple years ago, and I am still super close to every last one of them. We have traveled, we have cried, where the questions are going. But I will say, somebody's on Facebook. Okay, sorry, it's like an echo. How can for us, it's seriously a sisterhood. Absolutely a sisterhood. People who you just experience some of the highest points of life with and some of the lowest points, and you are never alone. You are never alone. So anyway, that's what it was for me.
So my name is Hope. Thank you so much, Tia. And I also forgot to introduce myself. My name is Hope from Kenya and Sudan. So I am not only an African, but I'm also someone who has no idea what the Divine Nine is, let alone Greek life. Honestly, and I think I'm kind of proud to say this, but not proud, the only exposure I have to Greek life is A Different World. I watched it religiously back to back. I think I've watched the show twice. But that's the only thing I know. So I would also want to prompt any of you to let me know, what is the Divine Nine for the life of me, before we continue to things I also do not know about?
Darian, what's the Divine Nine, brother?
So these 9 historically Black Greek organizations were founded by African Americans in the early 1900s to the mid 1900s. These are called the Divine Nine because I personally believe there's something special and unique about each one of these, organizations. I decided to join Kappa Alpha Psi because it spoke to me personally, but all of these organizations are great because we are still here. There were a lot of other organizations that were started in the early 1900s to mid 1900s, and we don't know anything about them. We don't know who their founders were, or the chapters are kind of fizzled out or whatnot, but all of these 9 organizations have continued to make great strides. At the forefront of political arenas and activist arenas and whatnot. So that's, the overall gist, as far as I'm concerned, what makes these 9 organizations divine.
Ooh. Okay. Divine.
All right, so Darian, you kind of just mentioned, which is leading into our next question. If anyone kind of wants to go I guess all of you guys can kind of go down the path of how your individual organizations were founded / where they were founded. Just kind of give us a little rundown of all your histories. Whoever wants to go first. Briana, you can go if you want to start us off.
Sure thing. Well, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated was founded on November the 12th in 1922 at Butler University in Indiana, which is also known as Klan Country. How exciting.
Yes, it is.
And in 1922, there was a very large resurgence of Klan activity in that area at the time. And the 7 founders of my sorority were also school teachers who saw the disparities for women and children in their immediate community and also just nationwide. And as educators, they took it upon themselves to form an organization that really championed the cause for women and children, especially in the arenas of education. And so because of that, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated was born. Since then, we've done our best to honor their memory, and we've done our best to carry the torch that they lit for us all those years ago. And that's Sigma Gamma Rho.
And Renee, you're also in Sigma. I am so bad at this. Sigma Gamma Rho, correct?
Yes, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Hi, I'm just going to do a quick introduction before I start. My name is Renee Dixon. I'm Spring 17, initiate into the enchanting Epsilon Delta chapter Florida State University. So just to kind of follow back off of what Briana said, we're part of the same chapter. She would be called my prophyte. She's been a great mentor to me as well as other members who have joined our organization since she's joined our organization. And as she said, we are primarily focused in aiding women and children and keeping up the traditions of our founders. A lot of the women who join our organization tend to really gravitate towards education. A lot of us are school teachers or work in sectors similar to the educational system. Myself, I work as a behavioral therapist, so I work in schools with children with exceptional needs. So I still follow the same path that our founders carved out for us years and years and years ago.
Awesome.
And my apologies, I committed a cardinal sin of our chapter. I did not introduce myself either. Thank you, Neil, for leading by example. My name is Briana Henderson. I'm the 2010 initiate of the enchanting Epsilon chapter at the Florida State University.
Amazing, thank you. Emorja, I guess I can throw it to you, our lovely host. Tell us about your fraternity.
I sure will. Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated was founded on the campus of Cornell University in Ithaca, New York, on an ice cold Tuesday. Praise be to God. By 7, we have some awesome 7 founders. I'm so privileged to have my line brother here with me, Chavis T. Gill. I won't say your middle name, I promise. Don't. So Chavis and I, we joined together, crossed those burning sands, and it was definitely a time to remember. But honestly, just being in the organization, I've met some amazing people. That's how I met Tia, as far Bianca, where else? AJ. I met AJ before I pledged, because AJ, oh Lord Jesus, I met AJ before I joined, but I met her in 2009, as a matter of fact. So this organization has really, even here at Notre Dame, there are some alphas, around campus, and then also just around town. So being a part of the organization has definitely helped me to become a better person. I know sometimes people say, well, being Greek changes you. And I do believe at some point it does change, at least it should, for the better. Unfortunately, there are some people who usually change for the worse. They get involved with the extracurricular activities, and they tend to forget what their mission is. But I can say that I boldly wear my colors of black and old gold. What about you, Chavis?
Chavis Gill, Fall 10, Sigma Epsilon Chapter, University of North Florida.
Yeah, I forgot.
Me and Emorja are what we call line brothers. And Hope and Lynnette, I'm gonna break down some terms for you, so we just not throwing stuff at y'all.
Yes, please do.
So line brothers means that me and Emorja, we crossed at the same college in the same chapter during the same semester. So our process, we did our process together. So we're brothers essentially at this point. He's been in my wedding. He knows my wife and all kinds of stuff. So we do life together. We'll be celebrating our 10th year as members of our organization.
10 years. I'm gonna go get my picture real quick. Hold on.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, just to piggyback off the history of our organization, Cornell University, as you know, Cornell is not a traditional historically Black college and university. It's a predominantly white institution. So the need for a social, political, and just an environment for the gentlemen to come together is what our 7 founders, who we refer to as the Jewels, that's what they did. So technically in the history of the Divine Nine, you already know I'm going to say Alpha Alpha was the first intercollegiate Black Greek letter organization. So, oh, wow, you have the picture. Oh, my God, you should put that up. Yeah, so that's a little history about Alpha Alpha Fraternity.
Awesome. All right. Now, who's next on my list? Can I hear from Tia and Bianca about Alpha Kappa Alpha, Sorority Incorporated? I'm learning.
I ski.
Tia or Bianca, either one.
Yeah.
So what exactly do you want to know? I'm a person that I'm very transparent. And so up front, I just want to know, as far as the transparency level, where are we at? Because I just need to know where I need to respond accordingly.
Bianca's going to tell you.
History, right quick, Bianca. Don't go too hard.
Bianca,
yeah, right now we just want a little background. We don't get into the hard
curricular activities, you guys. I have so many questions. Just give us like a rundown, and then with time we'll win me into the things that you don't want to say, but say them nonetheless.
Okay, so absolutely. So Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Well, let me back up. Let me introduce myself. So my name is Bianca Goolsby. I'm the quad of the Fall 10 line of Mu Theta, and that is the home of the University of North Florida, which is an organization and a university that has won several awards, and it is nationally recognized. With this school, UNF is amazing, and we've had an opportunity to really have a lot of Black Greek organizations and their presence at UNF, which was needed at the time because of the demographics at a predominantly white institution. So Alpha Kappa Alpha was founded on January 15th, 1908, and it was founded on Howard University. And so we have our 20 pearls, our founders, and we are here to serve, service to all mankind, and making sure that we are striving for excellence, that we are serving with merit, that we are women that are uplifting and motivating other individuals. Our organization is here to serve, and that's what we've been doing for a long time. And that's what I love about the organization, and that's what I love to continue to do, is serve our children, serve our world, and really, the organization has really helped me as far as, politically, being connected, and also with just being around sisters. My line sisters that I'm connected with, like, they're always there. And just like what Tia was explaining, like, you have sisters for life, and that's exactly what you get when you join an organization. And so I'm just thankful for my founders and thankful for the letters that I rock today.
So just to chime in, because everybody got to say their lines, I am Tia Leathers. I am spring 2000 out of the University of North Florida. Nice to meet you, Sora Bianca. Same campus, University of North Florida, Mu Theta chapter. And one thing I would add to that is just that we were the first sorority in 1908. It was the very first one of the Divine Nine in terms of the female group. So you can imagine the amount of just challenges that it took for African-American females to jump out there and create such an organization and be the first one to do so in the fantastic colors of pink and green. So anyway, nice to meet you all.
That's awesome. Thank you. So next up we have Darian in Orlando, if you guys want to give us your rundown. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah. Okay, I can jump in real quick. So my name's Orlando Evans, Fall 09, Ace Club, Lambda Phi chapter out of Valdosta State University in Georgia. I think my brother hit on it earlier about, our principles of our fraternity and everything. I was trying to pack up the music and all that good stuff. But can you repeat the question one more time? As far as
I just wanted to get a little background on your fraternity, and that's it. How it was founded, all that fun stuff.
I think he did touch on it earlier. We're in 1911, have our founders, and man, like I want to touch on something that the last lady from UNF, aka I so forgot the name, but I know you had like a little nice pink and green Tia. I like the backdrop, by the way, too. But far as me, like, joining it, like I have a sister. Nobody in my family's Greek, so I wanted to do something, leave a legacy behind for myself. Actually was on campus for 3 years. I was one of the lucky ones to get down kind of as a freshman, but I already was DJing at the school, so it kind of just got me a foot in the door. But it's been a beautiful thing. Even, when you're undergrad, it's probably the best time. But even after, when you get into the real world, one thing I've noticed, like you say, everybody say they got sisters for life, you have brothers for life, but it's such a big networking tool as well. Like, you never know, like I'm in a different city or a state and I can reach out to bros, like, hey, do you know anybody, or whatever the case may be. And they can just reach out back to you. And it's like, for me personally, I've met bros in like out the country before, with the military that live out there stationed. I've met bros even in Hawaii before. And you never feel like you're like, I'm gonna say alone, but you can always network to somebody. And one thing, even just not with my organization, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows this with their own organization. When you get into the real world and you can actually see that someone's Greek, it sometimes may help in the like professional like lane, trying to get a job or just trying to like get in good to network with any and every field. So I've been actually hired on by AKAs. I've been hired on by Qs. I've been hired on by my own bros before. So it's definitely something that I think is very valuable, not just in, undergrad, but after that as well.
Awesome.
How are we doing the communication thing? Do we have to like take turns, or can it be popcorn?
I mean, it can be popcorn. I just want to make sure everybody gets a chance to talk, introduce themselves, kind of thing. Don't you worry, we're gonna get down to the real questions, or I know everybody's gonna talk at once, and I am excited for that. We got a few more. I just want Mr. Muse, if you could introduce yourself, give us a little background.
Oh, what's good? I'm Corey. I'm from Virginia. 5 Dog Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Let's see. I mean, everybody know the bros pretty much, the real bros. So we uphold our standards of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. And our four founders established those cardinal principles, and we still live by those today. I mean, the stereotypes of us, but things that you don't pay attention to that you should catch on to is that we are also senators. We're in politics. We are scientists. We are the first in many of things. We're athletes. So, I mean, we're the bros, and we excel at all things that we do. We're top notch. I'll get more into the history about how we're the first fraternity founded at a historically Black college or university, although I am a graduate of a PWI. So that just tells you more about our organization. And I'll talk to you more about the other stuff about pledging later on and whatnot. And I'm not scared. I'm going to tell you that I was made and I pledged.
I'm excited. Sam and Dayan, can I hear from you?
Hello, good evening. My name is Samuel Green Jr. I am a spring 2005 initiate of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated by way of the University of Florida, the world famous Zeta Kappa chapter in Gainesville, Florida. And Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated was founded also at Howard University, January 9th, 1914 by three African-American college-educated men. And we have chapters all across the globe, and our organization strives on brotherhood, and scholarship, and service. And we are really just really a part of the community, doing lots of different projects and working both behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. We also have members who do a lot of different types of careers in politics as well as in sports and entertainment as well. So I chuckled at politics, and you all know why. So
I don't.
Yeah, just to piggyback.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say that. I'm not gonna do that. Go ahead.
Just to piggyback, my name is Dan Brown. I am from Spring 17, from the Zeta side chapter at Indiana State University in Terre Haute, Indiana. Just to piggyback on what we are the only constitutional fraternity constituted to our finer sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So that's just a fun fact to have sisters in our organization as well, to not just have only brothers as well. So that's just a little tip to get back in what Mom had to say.
That's awesome. I didn't know that was a thing. So.
And actually, Lynnette, he's here at Notre Dame as well too. So that's where I first met him. He was walking out, he was getting out of his car, and I was like, "What's up, Club?" So yeah.
I love
that. Out of nowhere.
All right, I know I'm missing a few people. Who am I missing? Who didn't get to go yet? Who didn't get to introduce themselves?
Yeah,
I guess I will go ahead and go.
Yeah, please do.
Hey everybody, my name is Mikaylia Dudley. I am a Spring 14 initiate from the Iota Upsilon chapter at Austin Peay State University in Clarksville, Tennessee. I just hit that 5-year mark. I'm feeling it in my right knee. Can't stroll like that no more.
Wait till you get to 10.
Listen, so I'm gonna go back some. So I was actually introduced to Greek life by my brother. He is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha. He crossed at Spring 2006. I'm at Fayetteville State University. So I first got my experience with Greek life when I was about 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. And so when he became an alpha, I noticed how he was being involved and how they pushed and held him accountable. So here I came to Tennessee in 2002. And my mom's best friend, she was a Delta. My cousin is a Delta. So that was literally the group of women that I grew up around. We are the largest African-American sorority, and a couple of things that drew me to the sorority. Number one, I feel like that I'm in a place that I can be myself. I love the fact that I have line sisters that have been there at my best and also been there at my lowest point that nobody will ever know about. We thrive on sisterhood, scholarship, and service, and we are very heavy on scholarship. And our theme has been joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our heart. I believe in that heavily. We are very politically involved, even from us ensuring that people are registered to vote, going all the way back to the 1900s, where Shirley Chisholm was the first African-American that ran for presidency. So I always, we got, I have a phrase that I say there's a Delta for that. Any area in society, including acting, like I said, policies, healthcare, there has been Deltas that have definitely infiltrated that. Also, everybody has their chapters overseas. We have chapters in Okinawa. We also have schools that we have built for children that are in Africa in different countries, ensuring that they get that equal access. So like I said, my Greek life experience has been very great. It's been very rewarding. I have been able to serve on our regional leadership team, a part of the dynamic Southern region. So I'm very grateful that they have given us that opportunity. I'm grateful, that I have a national president that I can literally talk to as if she was, sitting beside me. That's that means a lot to me. And I will let AJ take it away.
Hey there. I'm Azschrielle Calhoun. It's very interesting because when first let me backtrack. I had the privilege to cross Spring 2011 from the sophisticated Sigma Alpha chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated at the University of North Florida. So I get super excited because I got some fellow swoop mates around here.
Swoop.
But I will say, being at a PWI, but still in a in a predominantly African-American organization, it really gives you the opportunity to still put your, become the first in some type of way at your PWI. At UNF, there's a lot of people that don't look like me. But still, on the flip side, like all of our organizations that are at UNF has had the opportunity to really like mold and really shape the university in such a better way, to the point where now we even have created, you know, our Black Alumni Association, which, you know, I'll talk about that on another side. But the beauty about Delta Sigma Theta and the beauty for me is whenever I moved up here to Nashville, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I never
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
And don't, cause you know the Duval in me would be done right there. But I never thought in a million years that I would move from Jacksonville, Florida. But when my husband and I, we decided to move up here, one of the first people I met was Mikaylia. And it's like, to have that sisterhood wherever you go, I can truly say, like, within all of our sororities, it's truly, truly a blessing. I knew nobody up here, like, and Mikaylia and I, she's been able to really show me a lot since I moved here. But to be able to say that you can do that in every city, like, everywhere I go, my husband jokes about it, but it's legit. He's like, everywhere we go, I'm gonna at least see 3, 4, 5, 10 Deltas somewhere at the grocery store, the gas station, the school, wherever you go, you're going to find a Delta. But I really truly believe that that's one of the main reasons why I became a Delta, was because I was the only child. And I didn't have sisters like that. So my very first sisters were and will always be my line sisters. They have truly, truly like been my rock. And even whatever I need, I know I can call on them. But then on the flip side, I can also go to Tennessee, or I can go to California, or I can go anywhere across the world and say that I can run into a sister and still have that same love, that same bond, and be able to bond with each other as if, you know, we've been growing up our entire lives. I truly, like, I get excited when I think about Delta. I get excited when I talk about Delta. I get excited. I just ran into Sarah at Publix. I was trying to come back home, and it was older Sarah, and she was super excited to get to know me because, again, I'm still fairly new here. But again, like, Delta has really, really blessed me. It has allowed me to access some doors that I honestly feel like I may not have accessed if I was not a part of my organization. Just like Mikaylia, I've been able to serve on our Southern Regional team. And to say that I was able to do that at such a young age, it, again, has opened more doors and is giving me that push that I need to even become a better woman. So yeah, we'll talk more. I'm actually, look, I'm about to do your job. I'm gonna pass it over to my
husband. All right, y'all. Good evening. My name is Brian Calhoun. I am a spring 2013 initiate at the University of North Florida from the Imperial Theta Pi chapter of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. But now I represent the dynamic dynasty of the Delta Theta chapter of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated at the Tennessee State University. Just giving some background about our organization. We were founded September 19th, 1963 on the 5th step of Hurt Gymnasium at Morgan State College, which is now known as Morgan State University. A special thing about us is, of course, we have our 12 founders, but I think 5 of our founders are still alive. And as a matter of fact, shout out to founder Lonnie Spruill. His birthday is today. Oh. And one of our principles are scholarship, leadership, citizenship, fidelity, and brotherhood amongst all men. And we are the youngest of the Divine Nine. And to give some background, Of course, we were founded in 1963. Sigma Gamma Rho was founded in 1922. So you got it's like a 40-something year gap in between there. So we're still growing. So we're not as big as the other organizations, but we are the loudest. So yeah.
Okay.
Claims it.
Brian, can you confirm?
Yeah, we I'm gonna leave that to my young guys. I'm a Brian Frazier, spring 2000, so I'm old as Tia.
We're the same line. We're the same line.
Yeah, we're the same. So actually, the question is the history, right? It's not about our story yet, right?
Yeah, not yet. Well, you can tell about your story if you want.
I'll wait. So pretty much to piggyback on what my bruh said, we're founded in 1963, September. You got to think what was going on in 1963, right? So Martin Luther King got assassinated. He did the March on Washington. Medgar Evers had got killed. The bombing with the 4 schoolgirls. All these kind of things are happening in 1963. The first TV came out, like the first portable TV. All these times are changing, like in 1963. So our founders were, I believe, 3 to 5 to 7 years older than the typical college student. Like they weren't like normal college students. So they had a whole different mindset, like when they started the fraternity. They weren't pretty much into like the party and the campus life. They were fathers, they were husbands, they were all this kind of thing. So they're looking at all these events going on in 1963. They decided, you know what? In this time of change, we want to make a change like within the realm of fraternities and what have you. So that's how we were birthed, 1963. We'll get into me personally later, but that's pretty much our history. And Brian Calhoun already summed up the rest.
And I think last but not least, we have Jennifer from Zeta.
Hello. Hi. My name is Jennifer Major. I joined Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated spring 2004. So I've been Zeta for a little while. Our sorority was founded January 16th, 1920 on Howard University as well. We are very active in our principles are scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finer womanhood. Let's see what else. We have several chapters across the globe. We are very big on service. Our biggest initiative is See Hope is Zeta's helping other people excel. And we also do service with the March of Dimes. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Look, Hope already wearing the colors.
That's amazing. All right, well, I want to get into some of these like vocab words that you guys have been throwing around. And I know Emorja tried to explain stepping to me, but I definitely need a better definition. So if you guys can kind of give me some traditions and little vocab words from the Black Greek traditions, that'd be helpful.
Strolling.
What is it? Give me the definition.
When you
strolling.
You're setting it out. I can't show you because I'm 40 and I just hurt my knee yesterday.
Tia got it.
Listen, my right knee is acting up too. Don't.
Is that weather?
Tia doing it. Tia, are you doing it? Is that what?
A little bit. Yeah, just from the
Set
chair.
It out, Tia.
I'm showing my mirror. Hey.
Oh yeah. Hey.
It's a whole thing. It's a thing.
I feel like I need to learn this. Can I ask a question? This is really like blonde, but you guys have to like allow me, okay? I am a complete beginner's mindset, which I think, yeah. Have you guys, I think most of you guys have watched Stomp the Yard, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I saw a lot of stepping. They stepped a lot. Mm-hmm. They really stepped. Physically, like I'm talking about actual stepping, right? And so, would you consider that strolling? And I also want to just say that I read somewhere that in the history of stepping, the roots are within the South African march or struggle for independence. Oh, yeah. And personally, I also done it. It's called Pantsula. And so it's where they kind of, I know Beyonce did it once. That's like as far as I know in terms of its reach. But Can you guys confirm that for me before we go to the difference between stepping and strolling? Which for me, you have to step to stroll, right?
Well, yeah, let's get nerdy then. Let's get nerdy. All right. I'm a second grade teacher, so any chance I get, I'm taking it. So actually, it's okay to tackle the concept of strolling and stepping together because you're correct. They are both inspired by African traditions of dance and of movement. And stepping is heavily influenced by, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the gum boot dancers.
Yeah, gum boots.
Forgive me for not knowing the exact region on the continent that they're from. But that stepping in the modern sense for Black Greek organizations here in the United States is heavily influenced by that style of dance. The concept of strolling is actually much more ancient than a lot of people realize. During rites of passage, during rites of passage that young women and young men went through back in the continent in their tribal communities, they would oftentimes line up in dances and learn different movements that as they processed in and also processed out of the ceremonies. And so a lot of our strolling is heavily influenced from that tradition. And you'll find out that a lot of the things that we do in Black Greek life are heavily influenced by African tradition because as African Americans, a lot of our traditions were stolen from us. Mm-hmm. And so over the years and decades, we've fought tooth and nail to hold on to any part of our African identity that we could. And as a way to honor that history and to honor the ancestors who survived the Middle Passage, to honor the memories that were able to be passed down, to honor the traditions that were able to survive through chattel slavery and through all of those horrific things that our ancestors had to endure. We keep those traditions alive through movement, through chanting, through dance. And so that's strolling and stepping in a nutshell.
So you mentioned strolling was when you're going in and out of events. So give me examples of like when you stroll, what you're strolling to, all that kind of stuff.
So
Anytime they play the dog.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anytime they play the dog.
Okay.
I thought you was about to say something else.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I know you heard earlier Emorja said, like, everybody just pretend they're on the yard, right? So the concept of the yard is basically your university's common area of students to congregate. So like at Florida State, we have a space called the Union. And the Union is just a big, giant open courtyard where every Wednesday we have something called Market Wednesday. And all of the organizations, Greek and non-Greek, come together and, they dance. They have vendors. You can buy food, earrings, scarves, shoes. And of course there's a DJ playing while all of this is happening, and if a song comes on that your organization has a stroll to, oftentimes people will stroll. And Quiet is Kept is also a form of membership recruitment, because it's a showstopper. Like people stop what they're doing, they turn and they look, and it's just one of the tactics we use to garnish membership. Let's keep it funky. Yes. But it also, like I said, ties into the traditions of our ancestors. And we also stroll a lot at what we would call new membership presentations. Is that the political correct way to say it?
Yes. I still call them probate.
A probate. Coming out show, as you will. However we want to call it. But oftentimes we see a lot of strolling and stepping at those events also.
All right. Hope is mind blown. Absolutely.
The thing I keep thinking of is how, so the thing when you said, so gumboot dance originates in South Africa, and a lot of people in prisons and the quarries where they used to mine and everything, they used to do the gumboot dance. And I also know in terms of strolling, I know in the Maasai culture where I come from in Kenya, or even in Swaziland, now called Eswatini, when the girls are going to present themselves to the king, they kind of dance together and it's a whole thing. And what keeps sticking out for me is the element of sisterhood or brotherhood. It's very strong. And I also just want to ask about that. So you talked about a situation where, did you guys say probate? Okay, so it's a situation where you essentially showcase the different sororities or fraternities, and then from there you can be able to recruit new people. So if I may ask, what is the reason you joined your specific sorority or English, it's the end of the day. So my cap for English, I'm right here. So if I don't say some words correct, just go with the flow. Don't ask any questions. Just look, just smile and wave, I beg. So why did you join the fraternity or sorority that you joined? And I'll start with Jennifer, and then maybe you could popcorn the next person so that we just have that flow. Why did you join your specific one?
I knew you were going to ask me first. Honestly, to be honest, I originally didn't have an intention to join a sorority. But when I went down that road, I looked at all of the sororities, all of the historically Black sororities. So I looked at Delta, I looked at AKA, and I looked at Sigma Gamma Rho and Zeta. What drawn me to Zeta was they were very heavily involved in service to the community. So that's what drew me to this particular organization. And also the ladies who were a part of the chapter at the University of North Florida, I knew them personally, so I knew what they were about. Right. So that kind of helped sway me to go towards Zeta instead of some of the other sororities that were on campus. So that was kind of my journey. But even then, when they asked, why are you here? I stood up and said, I'm here for information. And that was it. And I sat down, and then the next thing you know, I got an invitation to have an interview.
Wait,
Are
you invited to join?
Yes, it is by invitation only. So
that is so exclusive, guys. That is fancy.
Yes, it is. It is fancy. Yes. So yes. So I guess I can go down this road since we're here. So the purpose of these, they call them informationals, is not only for you to get to know more about the sorority and about the chapter on that campus, but is also for them to get to know you. So while you're checking out what information they have to provide, they're checking out you and seeing how you're interacting and how you are presenting yourself during that meeting. So that's what leads to getting an invitation to sit with them and interview with them, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's intense. Oh yeah, and hope one thing too that Jennifer, I know we didn't discuss this, but so Jennifer is also our alpha angel, and so I know it's a lot, right?
That's
so
true. Alpha angel. If my mom heard that.
So yeah, and so our sisters are also the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I know it's a lot, and so that's Tia and also Bianca, and Jennifer is also like our little sister as well. So I know it's sort of hard to understand, but like on school days, whenever you saw G5G, they had the women who were like, yeah, those are like that's them. That's like the equivalent to.
What? I think I'm going through information overload, and I think Meow does it. Did you say meow?
Wait.
Mess you up.
Did you just say meow?
Wait till you hear
in your free time?
sounds of everybody in this group.
You guys all have sounds that you make.
Everybody has sounds, yeah.
Does anyone bark here?
Oh, so you really don't know. You really don't know, dude. You don't know nothing.
I don't know anything, and that's why I'm here, so that any viewer watching,
okay.
in case there's any question, it's asked.
It's long, but
we have some barkers.
You bark?
We bark. I'm not getting ready to bark.
You bark.
Yeah, we bark.
That's why you're talking.
Yeah, you called me out. So yeah. But but don't concentrate on the barking. We're also pastors.
I'm trying so hard, my friend. It's tempting. It's barking, okay? Imagine this for the first time. Verbally. With no dancing.
I love it.
Okay.
And we don't stroll either. We hop. We don't stroll. We hop. So I mean, I can confuse you today if you want to be confused.
If you aren't careful, they will jump on you.
Okay, let's not get carried away. We don't do anything anymore. None of that. All of that's gone. That's of the old days. We're the new wholesome bros nowadays.
We are trying to drop knowledge. We are not trying to scare the people. Stop.
Lord.
Anything for the brotherhood or the sisterhood, even if it means I meow. Did you say meow? All right, I would do it. So let's go back to where we were. We were asking, why did you join the you guys fraternity or sorority that you guys were in? So since we're with you, Muse, like, why did you join yours?
Okay, so this is probably the only time you'll hear me like be really serious. But I joined Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I grew up without a father, and it's the little things that matter for me in life. So somebody teaching me how to tie a necktie or change a tire on the car, that's more, or picking me up for a football game or attending that game, that's more significant. And let's keep it a stack. The only fraternity that was very vocal or apparent where I grew up at were the bros. So I'm one of those people who, I got to college and I was like, I'm looking for the dudes in the purple and gold. I don't know nothing about it, but I'm trying to do it. So let me go up to them. So, I mean, that's how I joined. Or that's not how I joined. That's how I got interested.
Thank you for sharing that. So they also offer that sort of guidance that you kind of need in where you are in life.
Role models, mentors, coaches, all of those things. There's somebody who is a part of the Divine Nine who is very influential in your growing up, your adolescent life, definitely. Even if you don't know it, that person is there. And if you become Greek, you start to realize how they are Greek because the way they carry themselves. One thing I know about any Greek is that they are a finisher. They don't start a project and leave it hanging. They finish. Let's see the finisher process.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that. What about you, Tia? Why did you join yours?
Well, first, I just want to make sure that, do you like the colors pink and green, Hope?
Combined or like separate?
Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later.
The trap. The trap. Don't say.
I like those. My bar right now is low.
Don't worry about it.
I love it.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
I love it. Tia is the one that gets you. She got me too at one point. It's okay.
So and that's the thing. Emorja's like in 10, and I'm sorry, I came through in 2000. 10 years separates the two of us, and I still am familiar with him. That's the way that it goes. But I have always known I wanted to be an AK. Always. There were women at church who were AKAs. My grandmother's friends were AKAs. My grandmother's friend was the national president at the time. They were in a bridge club together. So I just grew up around these amazing AKAs. As soon as I got to college, I was looking for, like, where's the pink and green, period. I don't care what's happening here. And actually, there was nothing that could change my mind about that either. Those women had already set such an example. There was nothing else out there that could sway me. I will say, though, that sometimes people get to campus knowing what they want to do, and then they end up in classes with people who are in a different sorority, and they aren't as sold on what they want to do, and they connect more with a different group. And so next thing you know, they potentially may, what y'all say?
Crossed?
Yeah, something. Give me the right words, because y'all, all I have is the wrong stuff to say, okay? So they join a sorority that maybe they just, I really like them, I see what they're doing, or they may make the decision there. So you either kind of know what you want to do and you're dead set, or you show up and you kind of see where you are most comfortable and you potentially say you want to do that. But again, I'm gonna go back though. Pink and green, Hope, is really nice colors, right? Just beautiful. Potentially. All right.
Don't say nothing.
I'm gonna go on mute. There you have that.
That's smiling eye. That's
smiling. Don't say nothing.
Just slide that in.
Oh my God.
And we say ski wee, Hope. We say ski wee.
Ah, Lord.
Oh
There
yeah,
you
and
go.
hope. But before we get off the call, I'm gonna have everybody do their calls
Okay.
so you can actually hear all these calls.
Yes, thank you. I
Okay.
love this. Let's do this. So who is Meow first?
Oh,
Meow.
oh no,
Please.
Ah,
Meow.
Funny.
nobody meows. That was a fake organization just for
I've
the
gone through
movies.
all this emotionally for a fake meow
but you were right on the
on
mark,
the
though.
internet.
But
I
you
said
were right
meow
on the
so
mark.
many times. Okay, can I call on you and then you tell me what is it called, a sound? What do you guys call it? What's the politically correct
Yeah,
way?
I mean they call it calls. Yeah.
Okay, so Briana, what sound, what call did you guys make?
Oh, y'all hold your ears.
Oh, I am not putting the internet through that. I'm not doing that. It's a beautiful call, and I love it dearly. But the way that these microphones on these here devices are set up,
Yeah, it's a wrap.
I'm not trying to get no kind of lawsuits for damage to inner ear. No, because it gets loud and it's very high pitched. Our call is E-YIP. The reasonings for that call, you have to become a member to know.
Okay.
I almost got him.
But that
Almost
is the
got him.
call. And when my sorors, hear that call, we know exactly what it means. And we know it's time to step up and show out.
Okay. What do your hands do, Briana? Show it, your hands. Can we do that? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Our hand sign is this, or sometimes you see it held this way. Means the same thing. Again, the meaning behind that.
You can't do it. Hold on. Pause,
I
Briana.
sense it. Okay,
Pause, Briana.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Hold.
AJ
you can't hold them up. You can't hold
Wait,
them up.
why do we have to pause? What's up?
Because Hope was holding it up too.
Oh no, babe. Okay,
I'm
so
not allowed to do
all
it.
right, so let's backtrack. So let's backtrack. So one of the things that Emorja should have explained to our two lovely co-hosts who are not members of our organizations, that the sounds, the imagery, the iconography, the hand symbols, all of those things that we do are for members only. And it is actually a sign of disrespect to do them if you are not a member. And I know you didn't know, sis, so I am not holding it against you. But I'm going to just lovingly let you know, don't let Emorja get you caught up.
He won't get you caught up.
You didn't tell her. It's not even her fault. It's not even her fault. You didn't.
I didn't know we were going to do the hand sign.
From the beginning.
But yeah, so... Yeah, a lot of the things that we do in our organizations are a hashtag members only kind of thing. But yeah, so and what I will say too, like I'm a teacher, y'all, so I'm always be giving homework. A book reference for anybody who is watching on the World Wide Webs, or our two co-hosts who are not a member of a Greek organization. There is a book called The Divine Nine, The History of African American Fraternities and Sororities, and it was written by Lawrence C. Ross Jr. It gives
He's my friend on Facebook too. That's a bruh.
Oh, it gives a very surface level introductory kind of information dump about all of our organizations, where we were founded, who were our founders, what was the social climate at the time of each of our organizations founding. It is a chunky read, but you can take it chapter by chapter, and it is it's a really good place to start. And since I'm already talking, can I go ahead and just tell how I got to Sigma Gamma Rho? All right, let's go with it. So when I was growing up, I'm from Philadelphia, and in Philadelphia, there are only about 2 Greek letter organizations, sororities, that you really see, and that is AKA and Delta. Now, I was young and oblivious and just wanted to ride my bike, so when I was growing up, I didn't realize that literally all of my aunt's friends were in one of those 2 organizations. I had no clue. When I moved to the South, however, the South does Greek life different than the North. And it is a really big deal down here in a way that it's a big deal up North, but not in the same way. It's different down here in the dirty. So when I moved to Florida, I started realizing, oh, wow, there are actually a lot more people who are in these organizations than I realized. And my first real encounter with anyone in Greek life was in high school. My step team coach was a member of AKA, and she was a great woman. And I appreciate her leadership. But when I got to college, I realized that, you know, that wasn't the organization for me. And I think that somebody touched on this earlier. I think it was Tia, where, you know, you realize, okay, you know, you can acknowledge that an organization is great and give them credit where credit is due, but also in that same breath realize that that's not the space for you. And it's no big deal. It's just is what it is. So when I got to Florida State, the women who stood out to me the most as, you know, genuine, as encouraging, as hardworking trailblazers who were not afraid to stand up by themselves and make their presence known and make their voices be heard, even in the face of people maybe even laughing, in the face of people trying to scrutinize them, people trying to pigeonhole them and stereotype them, were the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho. And that example on the campus that I went to, it spoke volumes. And as I got to know them better as individuals, and just from working with them in organizations like the Black Student Union at Florida State, I came to realize, oh, these are my people. Like, their heart is singing the same song as mine. And when I made that realization, that's when I started doing my research on the Divine Nine in an entirety. That's when I read that book that I was plugging earlier and started realizing, okay, all of these organizations are connected to each other. Let me figure out how. Let me do my homework to know what I am signing myself up for, because these are lifetime memberships. You know, so it's like, what if I'm going to attach myself to a purpose of an organization for the rest of my life? I need to know what I'm getting myself into as much as I possibly can. And in that research, that's when I found out the dedication to educating the youth that existed within the core of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. And I've known since the age of 3 that I was going to be an educator. And any organization that championed education so fervently the way that Sigma Gamma Rho did, that just cemented even more that this was the space for me. And, you know, I grew up with a whole bunch of siblings. I'm the youngest of 7, so I wasn't in no shortage of brothers and sisters. But to be able to attach myself to an even wider group of people who are like-minded and like-spirited, and whose trajectory in life was now being propelled in the same direction as mine, it was the best choice I ever made.
For that. And I'm so sorry. Next time.
It's okay.
Beginner's mindset. All right. Next time, no, I will let that. But we don't have, I don't think we have
I'm gonna
enough
take the blame
time.
for that one.
It's okay, Emorja. We will work together to make sure I learn these things, but we don't have enough time to like go through everyone's calls. Would anyone just like to volunteer, and just one last person, maybe in terms of how you got involved with your sorority or fraternity?
Yeah, I'll do mine.
Okay, Brian.
So as my brother already said, we're the youngest of the fraternities, right? So when I got to TSU, I came from a predominantly white community. I knew nothing about fraternities or sororities. So when I get there, I want to go to Alpha Party. No disrespect, Emorja. They took me to the party and left me there. I had to find a way back to the to campus as a freshman. Like, to me, that was a bad impression. Like, I can't rock with anybody like that. I knew people who pledged other things, and they were one way before they pledged, and after they pledged, they were a totally different person. They're the coolest person on campus. They're the most livest, even though they're a nerd or a geek before that. Like, to me, that rubbed me the wrong way. So again, I didn't know anything about fraternities, and there wasn't even IOTAs at Tennessee State. There wasn't even IOTAs in our region, like when I came to TSU. So I'm part of the first pledge line in the state of Tennessee. So anybody who wants to be an IOTA from, right, anybody who wants to be an IOTA from this point on has to know me. Like, that was a drawing point for me. Like, I can be a part of history, right? So if you think of the song, Jay-Z has a song where he says, don't go with the flow, be the flow. Right. So I didn't want to just do what everybody else did. I kind of wanted to start my own thing. So now when I look back, when we got like over 100 members, we did all these things. We got people in the NFL, all these kind of great accolades. Like, to me, that's the reason why I did it. So I could leave a legacy, definitely. Our motto is building a tradition, not resting upon one. So like, we don't get the luxury to say, this is how we used to do it back in the day, or this is what so-and-so did. Like, we're actually building it as we go. And all those kind of things really stood out to me. And like I say, I'm a part of history now. So that was the main reason why I got to do it.
That's awesome. And I definitely love that line about being the flow. But I think for our last question, I kind of want to ask something that's kind of been burning in me. So as someone who goes to a PWI and someone who grew up in a predominantly white town, the only knowledge I have of fraternities and sororities is from the white people. So I want to kind of hear from you guys about what makes being in a Black Greek institution, what is the difference there between, especially those of you who went to PWI, what makes it different being a predominantly Black institution? And
I guess I'll go ahead and
earlier.
I'll go ahead and take this one away if you don't mind. So I am from Clarksville, Tennessee. There are a lot of things that have happened in Clarksville, Tennessee. It's like you said, it's a predominantly white town. It's a military town. Okay, so for me, of course, like I said, at first I went to the University of Memphis, but I did not join my organization there. I ended up joining at Austin Peay. And so I will say it was very different. It was very difficult per se. When you grow up in a town where, like, even when I got to Clarksville when I was 9, when I joined, I was in Delta Academy when I was like in elementary school. So even seeing I guess I want to say the initiative and the invention that, you know, my now pro-fights had to make when we were even younger, just for us to have those opportunities. At Austin Peay, I can be quite frank, you know, we have to literally make our way. We don't get the luxury of just everything being there. And for Deltas, we were actually the first Black Greek letter organization on the campus of Austin Peay State University. So here we are, we're trying to not necessarily be included, but we want to be recognized. What did LeBron James say? We want our respect. We wanted our respect. And so we, like I said, we didn't get the chance of just having all these things. Like, all of our organizations have literally had to work, and they've had to, you know, put that time in. And so it's different. Do we get racially discriminated against? I personally haven't, but I know people who have been in my chapter, as well as other Black Greek letter organizations at Austin Peay, that have had those issues. So if you don't have tough skin, you know, it can be difficult. But when you know what you stand for, you know, anything that anybody says, that's not going to bother you if you know what mission you're trying to accomplish. I'm sure there's some things, you know, that we as Black Greek letter organizations cannot do. And I forgot my disclaimer. I'm speaking on behalf of me and not the organization. Forgot to say that. But there are some things that, you know, Black Greek letter organizations can't do at Austin Peay that our other counterparts can. And I'm sure if any of my fans, shout out to Spring 14, if y'all are watching this, you know, y'all know, like, there are some things that we can't do that they're allowed to do. And, you know, when we ask for that explanation, it's just, well, it's to prevent this or prevent that. So it's very difficult treatment. However, I think that the leaders that we have in our organizations, we have been able to, you know, put those things aside and be like, look, at this point, it's not about us individually. It's not about what we want to do. It's more so we want to be represented, and we want equal opportunities. And we want to be able to say that just like these other organizations that get this treatment or get these preferences, you know, have had these chances, we want the same chance. So I would honestly, I can say I would not trade my experience joining my organization. While I would have liked to be at an HBCU, I wouldn't trade joining where I joined, because we were able to make that history.
Wow.
And Renee, why don't you go ahead and tell them about the difference between MPHC and Panhandle at Florida State?
I was literally just about to jump in, Briana. I was like, oh, this is where I shine. So I kind of just wanted to talk about what it's like being a part of MPHC at a PWI. It's like being under a microscope. You're constantly under surveillance because we are a small council. But a lot of people say that, you know, it's like being under a microscope. I see it as being under a spotlight. We are the primary leaders on our campus, and we are given a platform where we can show exactly what we're capable of, and we can show exactly what we are good at, what we care about, what we excel in. And some of the difference between MPHC and PanHel and IFC and things like, and MGC and the other councils that are on campuses at PWIs. And as I said, I'm going to speak for myself and not for my university. We uphold kind of different values, and we operate in different ways. So MGC and MPHC tend to kind of follow similar structures and patterns in regards to programming and their organizational structure and things like that, whereas ISC and PanHel follow other structures and other platforms, and they care about other things. So our organizations are presented very differently across campuses. I have been very lucky to be a part of Greek life at Florida State because we are really supported by our OFSL, which is our Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life. So we are on the upward trend in regards to like our events, our membership, our outreach, and things of that nature. But when it comes to just being a part of MPC on a PWI, it's like being a part of a little family. Like, we're all very, very close to each other. I know everybody in MPHC, and I can talk to anybody in MPHC, and we really do look out for each other, and we're always pushing for other organizations to grow and expand and be great, and we try our best to support other organizations and things like that, because we want our group to not only be great when it comes to our individual chapters, but we want MPHC to be great. Like, we want to promote Black excellence across our whole campus, because we are the face of our Black population here. When it comes to, we are leaders in BSU, we're leaders in CSA, the Caribbean Student Union, we're leaders in AASA. When it comes to the African Student Union, like our association, we are the primary faces when it comes to that liaison between upper administration and the student body. So we want to present ourselves in the best way possible, and members of these chapters obviously uphold these standards. So it's hard, a lot of pressure, but we always rise to any expectations, and we excel past and well and beyond.
Can I also add, from a different perspective, now being far removed from the undergrad experience, that as a whole, Black fraternities and sororities as institutions in our communities, the Black community, we've owned our institutions. So HBCUs, our organizations, our Black churches, our Black schools. And so it's very much a lot of pride for members of the African American community, especially in the United States, where we do not have ownership of a lot of different types of things in the country. And so to have institutions that have survived 100 years plus, given the fact that we don't have equal access, educational opportunities, and we have not just joined or affiliated ourselves with organizations based on colors, but also with values. And so a lot of the communities are, like, I came from a very considered old school mentality. I grew up in Orlando, Florida, and the Greeks were a part of they were the leaders. And so not just on college campuses, you get that's almost like the trial area, because you're in college for just a few short years. But the main difference between our organizations and a lot of other fraternities and sororities is that we have a lifetime commitment. And so not only just our Greek-led organizations, but you have our social organizations as well, like the Links and 100 Black Men. And so all of us together work for the same cause of empowering and uplifting the African American community. And so I wanted to put that plug in now, because where we're at right now, moving towards the election, and also thinking of the issues in our world that needs our attention, particularly in the pandemic, it's the groups like our fraternities and sororities and all the other affiliated groups, and even our institutions, we make up the leadership of our community. And we are those who are selected or invited into our chapters. We are those who also will not just be responsible for being a part of the crowd, but we're sometimes responsible for leading the crowd and organizing and making sure these things happen. So to be a member of a Divine Nine organization is a privilege and an honor. And that for those who may be considering joining an organization, whether you are an undergrad or you are a working professional and have graduated, take seriously the call to serve and to act, because our people need us to survive. And it's not just about, showboating, and those are the perks of what it comes down to it. But we are at a dire need of leaders within our communities, and we cannot just rest on those who come before us. Our time is now. A lot of those who have transitioned just recently, like John Lewis and other leaders, they were members who joined their fraternities and sororities while in college and were working in the civil rights movement. They were not just going to college and taking classes. They were doing organizing sit-ins. They were at the forefront of it. And so we need our people to get reactivated and to get their vision together so they can see beyond just step shows. And I sound like an old person now, and I remember this when I was in undergrad when I first crossed. But I do think it's important, and I know that we have such great value. And I just want to see our Black people survive. I want to see our Black institutions continue to thrive, and know that even in the face of adversity, I was watching Lovecraft Country from the episode from last night, and not to go any spoilers, but
I gotta watch that.
But for so many things that we have endured in this country, and to know that these organizations were still in existence while homes were being burned, while churches were being burned, and while children were being murdered and lynched. We're not just here because it's a social group. We are here for a reason, and we have a divine purpose. And that's what gives us this whole idea of why we are the Divine Nine.
I just want to add, because you brought that up in terms of politics, and I won't go into it, but you can imagine how it would be for even Kamala Harris right now as an AKA on the vice presidential ticket. That's not happened. And like, it's real time, and she is surrounded by not just her sorors and pink and green, but the entire, like, we all, not that we all, we don't tell people who to vote for. We can't absolutely say, 100% because she's in the Divine Nine that you should vote for her. But what we do is support one another, whatever that looks like. I can imagine the days that she may be receiving threats. She may be completely down. She might be crying. She might be, who knows what she's experiencing. But what we know she won't have to do is experience that by herself. 100%. We are so proud just to see her get on that ticket, because she represents all of us. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yes, and
can I mention that too?
Can I add, the great thing that's about the Divine Nine is that I think Briana and Sam mentioned it earlier, that it is a lifetime commitment. I guess I didn't introduce myself. I'm Spring 17, and I joined through the Indianapolis alumni chapter. And that's the difference between these white sororities and fraternities that you see at PWIs and what the Divine Nine has. It is a lifetime commitment, so the work is always happening. I was not able to join. I didn't have the privilege of joining in my undergrad. I went to an HBCU, but there were some challenges. And but I also went to a PWI for grad school. And so I see the difference. I speak to some who are, in the white sororities. One girl told me, she's like, "Oh, I dropped my sorority for this semester because," and I was like, "You dropped your sorority?" Like, that's
picked it back up afterwards.
That's not what happens here. Okay. This is a lifetime commitment, and it's never too late to join, and it's never too late to continue to do the work of the fraternity and sororities that you may be interested in. So.
Oh yeah.
Are there any plans for Notre Dame? I mean, I know you're asking us questions, but just, out of curiosity, as minorities or whatever, when you're on campus, who are you do they have it? What do you all have? Who are you connecting to? What are you doing? Are there talks of starting? How can we help? Do you need a letter? What happened?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Y'all got Greeks though, right?
No. Okay, so this is how Notre Dame works. I know most of you don't know who I am. So I'm actually one of the mascots / leprechaun here at Notre Dame. And so I know a lot about the university, how it works, all that kind of stuff. The way that Notre Dame is, and will probably always be, there will never be Greek life here. I would put the rest of the money I make the rest of my life on that. But it's because they tried to make our dorms into fraternity and sorority-esque places. So we all live in same-sex dorms. And when you're in that dorm, a lot of times you identify pretty heavily with that dorm. And we have like philanthropies and all those other fun things that Greek life associates with, but that is actually kind of a point of contention with a lot of people of color here, because we also have random housing. So you are put in housing with anybody, and it's really hard to move out your freshman year of whatever dorm you're put into / whatever room you're put into. And that is something that a lot of people of color here have tried to talk to the administration about, is the fact that that works really well for the people here that see this themselves all over, all the white people, but for the people of color that doesn't work as well. And so that is definitely something they're trying to work on, but unfortunately there will probably never be Greek life. But we do have a lot of Black associations here, and other multicultural associations that people join. We have Bruta. What else we got? Help me out, Emorja.
We have Shades. We have Black alumni. I'm sorry, not Black. We have the Black Student Association, the Black Graduate Student Association. So yeah.
Yeah. So we. What did you say, Hope?
And the African Students Association.
Yeah. So we a lot of the associations that we have, we created, and they're very grassroots. Unfortunately, we probably will never have any fraternities or sororities that aren't business-based, if that makes sense. But it makes me sad, especially after this, because I feel like I'm missing out on something.
You all should invite us up for a cookout.
That is not a bad idea.
Pick a day. We'll be in our colors.
And you don't have to be Black to join these organizations.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah, exactly. So we have some white ones, I mean, in all organizations as well too.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's gosh, I wish Notre Dame did, but you know, there's only one Catholic school that I know of who has an HBCU, and that's Xavier, in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken. But they're the only ones I know that has Divine Nine. I can't speak for any other ones. But yeah, I know, right? But listen, you all, I appreciate you so much. I know we went over time, but I haven't done something like this in a minute, probably since I was at UNF. But it was awesome. Hope and Lynnette, thank you. Thank you all so much. I applaud you two for doing the study and doing the work. So
yeah, no, thank you guys. I've learned a lot. I feel like I didn't know nearly enough about this, so
it's okay. We all still learn at some point, so it's all right. I know Briana said she didn't want to do it. But I want y'all to introduce your calls, at least to each other, so that way they understand the importance of it. I know AJ just laughing. Just so they're aware, and all of our viewers too, because I did invite some of the undergrads to also pay attention to this stuff as well too. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go by myself because my line brother had to step away for a second.
Nah, I'm up here. I'm here.
Oh, never mind. Praise be to God. Okay. All right. So normally, our hand sign is oops. This is our hand sign. And of course, we do the Teton thing as well too. So I'll call it. Actually, Chavis, since you the ace, I'm gonna let you call it.
Oh God, I'm driving, so y'all bear with me. Glory, hallelujah. Hey, fight!
Oh, 6! Oh, 6! Anyways, okay, cool. So, and next, we'll have the AKAs. Bianca, come off of mute, Bianca.
Come on off mute.
Retirement.
Well, you see me, I'm backing away from this.
I'm 10. Okay. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Woo!
Jesus.
Help us.
Help us, God.
Oui.
Pope said what? Yeah. Oh, there's more. Don't wait. There's more. All right. And so the next organization we have would be KA Psi Fraternity Incorporated. What y'all got?
All right, we just gonna keep it short and sweet. You know, we're gonna just do it one time. This is our hand. This is the yo. And now I'm gonna do it like this. Yo, new.
Yo, yo.
All right, we just gonna keep it short and sweet for y'all, baby.
And we got Q Sci-Fi.
Yeah, no. We just got the hooks, low hooks, low hooks, you know. But you're not getting no bark out of me.
You aren't gonna bark?
You're not gonna get none of that out of me.
Barking has been a whole thing.
The bark, you know, we can set it.
Come on.
You gotta do it for hope. Do it for hope.
Please. Oh.
There we go.
Bro, that is like 15 dogs about to run in here.
The Delta about to lose it. Oh my gosh.
Hold on.
And next, I know, right? And next we have the devastating divas of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
My husband over here covering the speakers.
I mean, I don't know if AJ still got it.
Look now. Been a while.
You ready for it, AJ?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
They would typically go on for a long time. She had a drink after that.
2 minutes. Yeah, listen. After 5 years, you get old. I'm telling you.
I know, right? And so after the Deltas, we have the Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
I'll make it quick. Can I get a blue phi?
You know.
Uh-oh. Okay, and so yes, so typically what happens is after the bros do something, or maybe after the sorors do something, we'll respond, basically letting them know, yo, we here, we got you covered. So that was the Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma. So let's go over to Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Okay, so I'm sorry. And I'm by myself, so okay.
All right, and so all right, thank you. And so after Zeta Phi Beta, we have the pretty poodles of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
Sorry, Emorja, but you gotta stop with this radio voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
We ain't on the clock.
Me up, baby.
The microphone.
Okay, Azschrielle, we got y'all.
We over here with Jesus, man.
Renee, you see how they peer pressured all of us into doing this?
I see.
I don't like this peer pressure.
It feels like a trap.
It's a whole setup.
Is it the haze?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
I don't know that. I don't know what it is either.
I don't know what that word is. You just put it.
Non-hazing.
She poured some more water. I'm still working on my gallon. Wait a minute.
And she played with the baby.
But okay. You ready, girl?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, protect y'all ears. Here we go.
She was so elegant with it too. Look at you on the shoulder.
Hey, yo, Briana gonna get a letter from her tennis.
Right. Oh my gosh. All right. And so then we have those brothers of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated.
I love this.
So I got a 3-year-old who's asleep right now. He just went to bed. I'm gonna show y'all the hand sign. This is the official right there, and then that's the unofficial.
I never knew that.
Don't stay with the official.
Lord have mercy.
We got that. And so, my little bro, you go ahead and set that up. Oh, Lee. But yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. So wherever we are, if we see somebody with a tag, we have some ways in which we will acknowledge them and they'll respond. But it's very subliminal, like you will never know. But needs to say, so thank you all so much for checking us out on Facebook. We appreciate you for tuning in. Listen, go ahead and hit that like button on Facebook. Go make sure to follow us at Black_@ND on Instagram, Black_@ND on Twitter, and Black@ND on Facebook. Join us for the next set of conversation that we'll be having, how whites can become allies. What is the Black agenda for 2021? Overall, we have some discussions that we're going to be having on the show that are not going to be easy, but they're going to be necessary. And so we want you to join in with us. Yes, we sure can. All right, so thank you all so much. Have a good one.